My whole life, I thought fashion was superficial. What I never realized is that I was denying myself the pleasure that getting dressed brought me. Fashion is about creating an image, and the process to get there can be so fun and expressive. But what if getting dressed could be a healing experience? As a child, I was obsessed with clothing. I was also highly sensory sensitive. The world overwhelmed me, so I often looked for ways to feel more comfortable. This meant I changed my clothes multiple times a day, minimum of 3. I'd go from my Superwoman underoos to maybe a cowgirl, and then often I'd end up running around wildly on Kennebunk Beach topless. I was that little girl who needed her gloves tucked snugly and tightly into her sleeve, or her undershirt tucked right into her pants. I needed it to feel comfortable and secure. I'm still that way today. At 18, the conversation with my body radically changed. I was suffering from chronic, debilitating back pain. After a horseback riding accident a year prior, my spine was not holding up. Every day I got dressed, I would put on a white tank top, undershirt, and a hard plastic back brace that immobilized me from hip to chest. And then I tuck all that into my pants. I started to hate my body for the pain that I was feeling. After reconstructive spine surgery, I lost all creative confidence. I was an art student who lost the pleasure of the creative process. And this was the beginning of a 20-plus year health and healing journey that consisted of 13 surgeries to try to repair my body. Every career move I made was stunted by the oppressive reaction of my body. I went from my dream career track in the film industry to teaching Pilates, to marketing and sales, and finally to coaching. I lived in big cities all over the world, and I ended up in New York City. And it was there that I realized and divorced myself from my core values, and I lost my grounded vision. I was on the ultimate roller coaster of peak performance to deathbed and back. I sought spirituality as a way to find comfort and looking for answers. But I believed that there was no place for fashion in spirituality. And then, oddly, I found myself at a spiritual seminar, realizing that I was denying myself the one thing that still brought me pleasure and joy. I had made myself wrong for loving fashion. Naturally, I moved back to Maine 4 years ago to focus solely on healing my body. I was disabled. I was 30 pounds skinnier. I was suffering from episodic paralysis. A simple walk on the beach, one I'd walked my whole entire life, I would end up collapsed in the sand, being carried home. My body was giving up, and I had no idea what to do. It progressively got worse, and I thought I was doing everything right. I was terrified. And then I almost died. And the recovery and grief from my last surgery, the loss of my reproductive organs, was shocking. I lost all faith in the universe and my body's ability to withstand another trauma. I had no idea what I needed to heal anymore. And it was here that I realized and accepted that my sensory sensitivity was actually a superpower. Daily as I woke and feared the new body that I was in, the only pleasure I could find was getting dressed. And most importantly, figuring out what felt good to put on. I spent days that I had energy at stores here in Maine, dreaming about how I could monetize my new creative outlet. When you're recovering from trauma, it is really hard to feel pleasure in anything. So I focused on how I felt and how I could improve how I felt. I stopped judging fashion as superficial, greedy, or materialistic, and I accepted it as an aesthetic pleasure that fulfilled me. Listening to my body while getting dressed was tangible and real. I found grace in the elegance and flow of fabric. I found my anger in the tight, constricting clothes that I used to wear. I started to express a new edge, shaved off most of my hair, left a little patch on top. Connecting with what I was wearing and how I showed up allowed me to start to come back to life. And every time my mind, body, and spirit gripped with fear and trauma, I took a step back and I redressed. I focused on the tactile feel of my sweater. I focused on the warm comfort of my favorite jeans. This kept me present. The women that I surround myself here in Maine started to ask for support as I created a new conversation with my body. These women helped me say yes to life again. They taught me that my love for fashion had value and purpose, and that my skills were a natural resource for others to shine. Our bodies are filled with energy and emotion. We judge ourselves for the beliefs that we hold about them. Part of this is programming from mass media. It could be consumerism. Maybe it's neglect, abuse, or trauma. How often do you look in the mirror and say, "You look marvelous, darling," or even, "You look great"? Usually we go, "Oh, I'm so tired. Ugh, these bags, this bulge, if I just lost 10 pounds, I'd be so much better." The inner critic comes out, we cut ourselves down, and carry on. We objectify ourselves. I've learned through conversations with my clients that when we get dressed, there is a subconscious dialogue running about who we are, our worth and value, and our ability to be successful. And when those stories go unidentified, they can create internal discord, deep self-loathing, pain, anger, ultimately a lack of belief in your power. So, do you think about what your body needs when you get dressed? Here's what I do in my morning. Before I look in the mirror, I check in with myself. I want to know if there's pain. Do I feel vulnerable? Am I sad, excited, joyful, feeling love? I want to know what's present in my body. And then I start to think through what my day has in store for me. I listen to what my body needs so that I can be as effective and powerful as possible. I use accents to highlight or dispel a feeling. So to get on stage today, I chose long flowing pants to dispel fear. I chose broad, puffy sleeves to enhance power and strength. I chose this necklace to remind me to speak from the heart. Getting dressed is a daily ritual that I use to become present with myself. This builds the character and strength that I need to get through a day. It is my conscious mind-body-spirit connection. I help men and women get dressed. I'm a stylist. I help them find their true power and express it. What I love about my clients is what they teach me. We find fears about the body. We identify stories that are blocking you from your true self. One tear-filled moment as I wrapped up a call with a client. She was able to let go of her inability to speak up because she and I identified that she felt unrecognized by her family growing up. This subconscious belief was stifling her career, and she's now free to step into her new clothes and her new voice. Another tear-filled moment was in the dressing room at Macy's, here. My client showed up wearing clothes 3 sizes too big. We were able to find her dream outfit in the right size and the right cut. She finally felt like she fit in. She's been able to rebrand her business and find her own unique voice with this newfound confidence. We all have a desire to fit in, to be a part of something, to feel connected, even if we are a rebel. Trends are a system of dictating who is in or out of style. What if we disconnected from trends? Instead, what if we created sustainable, timeless, personal style? This creates a lasting, powerful image of self. It's your personal brand. It's usually the last thing everyone thinks of, yet it's the first thing that everyone sees. Every day you get dressed, you're making a statement about who you are. You may be known as the sharp expert, the savvy entrepreneur, the alluring artist. This is how we connect and identify with each other. It speaks to who you are, what you believe in, and what you don't believe in. It's about what you do and what you don't do. You might say to yourself, I'm not hip enough to go to that gallery opening, or I'm not fancy enough to go to that gala, or I'm just too sloppy to go out of the house today. If we accept a general theory that we are all interested in how we look, our own success, and how we are received, then just by getting dressed, we all must participate in fashion and personal style, whether we like it or not. Next time you get dressed, take a step back from the mirror. Feel your way into your day. Ask your body what it needs. What if you could consciously dress to look good and feel good? The clothes you wear are so much more than what other people see. They can help you create an energizing, healing frame of mind. A whole new you, maybe even a superhero. Thank you.